one of those things that this forum created an opportunity for us to have a dialogue about juvenile justice issues of intervention and prevention. And we really feel like it starts at home, it starts with us, and we agree that we are going to be that solution that needs to happen.
They always save the best for last, right?
They had dessert first. See, they should go there with me.
In the ex-offender forum that we had a lot of great ideas. We had a lot of great solutions. We had discussion about different things that are possible for ex-offenders in the community, where that individuals can go to really focus in on the solutions and the resources that already are available to ex-offenders, whether it be adults or youth. But I think also what happened in that group today was individuals realizing that there needs to be the community of all different types of programs, social service agencies, faith-based organizations, Department of Corrections, starting from the inside out to make sure that they're not going back in. And a lot of great solutions were discussed. One that really popped out in my head was the mentoring piece, to have a mentor for when an ex-offender gets out of prison or jail, that they have somebody to talk to about going through the same things that they did. We discussed housing, we discussed just a wide range of things. I learned just as much from the group that I hope that the group learned from me. And I think that's what this is all about, is all of us coming together as that group, as that community. So I'm not going to ramble on because I know I am the last one to speak. So I'm going to hand it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give our facilitators.
One of the things that people are very clear about is that it's going to take a greater sense of community, to really address many of the challenges that we face with. And while, ladies and gentlemen, there are budget cuts across the country, Illinois is no different than any other state. There's so much that we can do without money. Oftentimes, people are just focused on money and grants and assistance and aid. And while we know those kinds of things are needed, I really believe that a redeployment of personnel, forcing people to come to the table across different agencies. In this group where they talked about getting back to neighborhoods that work, going back to the village model. How many of you grew up in a village where anybody could put their hands on you or say something to you? So those are things that we can do, ladies and gentlemen, without that don't necessarily cost any money. Our next meeting is going to be March 20th. It's going to be here at 10 a.m. One of the things that we want, as the representative talked about, each person try to bring 2 young people, particularly a young person. Bring an adult, bring a young person, because what happens in this country, y'all, if you really want to sustain a movement, if we could marshal 5,000 residents in Peoria to move just based on a phone call or an email, that's how you get stuff done. When you can get large numbers of people involved in the process, executive committee is going to kind of summarize, dissect, go through many of the things that you guys have written down on your sheets along with your question and comments. And we're working on a number of ways to disseminate the information. One is being able to post this blueprint on the city's website and on other websites of groups that are part of the executive committee. We're potentially looking at doing something on Facebook because we know that a large percent, whether you anti-technology or not, how many of you guys are Facebook users? That there's just a large group of people that are doing organizing, community mobilization using Facebook. We're also going to be looking at a text message service because in the work that we do, with parents, we use a text message service to disseminate information. So we're going to be looking at multiple ways to get information, even potentially doing some stuff on YouTube as well. So these are your marching orders. Again, we want to thank you guys for participating.
As I travel across the country, I use spoken word poetry all the time, but this piece that I wrote was given to me, and I just want you to, just as you sit there, I want you to think about it, because David talked about money and how a lot of times we We depend a lot on the resources. You all know that there's a power in one, right? One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald a spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand claps lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One beam sunlights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. It has nothing to do with these elected officials. It don't even have anything to do with what we've done, David and I. But the goal is bringing you together and making something happen. What I love about Peoria is many of you all are doing this work. Our goal is to bring the puzzles together. Because if you're doing this work, we need to celebrate it, and other folks need to have access to the great things that you're doing. So I always ask the question, not what are we doing? It's what are you doing? And you don't need to answer that question. But ask yourself as you leave, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? And then the bigger question is, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because you want to create something for a generation of young people that you may not even have, that you may not ever have a connection to. Remember, the work that you're doing now, the ramifications are going to be larger than you when you leave. So as the senator said, the next meeting is going to get harder and harder and harder. But it has nothing to do with those folks that are on the stage. We know that they're doing good work. And we know that you guys are doing good work, but you need to bring other people to the table and tell them to leave their mess outside, because this is about business. You saw the smiles on those boys' faces that we work with. It was about business. It was about not complaining about the issue. It was about, we know we can complain, but what can we do to make a difference? So the power, everyone hold that one finger up. For those that go to church, that's an African concept. You know how people leave church and they do this? Y'all ain't know why they did this, did you? They do that. That means that you're reverencing God. That's an African concept. It's not like y'all do that, like look how stupid I look passing the light. You're reverencing. So by you doing this, saying that one, the power of one, but it's coming there. So it's about us. It's our time. We cannot wait for the Calvary to come save you. It's not going to happen. It's by the person that's sitting around you. So we're going to come back and we're going to continue the work, and it's going to get harder and harder. But just like, anybody work out? Anybody go to the gym? Anybody walk past the gym?
3 people.
Okay, 3. Got a gym downstairs. You know about muscle. You break, when you build muscle, you tear your muscle apart. And then you build it back up. That's why it hurts. For those that have gone to the gym, you know those people that have those, they call them resolutions, New Year's Day. The gym is packed on January 2nd. Then see, people laugh and they know I'm talking about them. We're going to tear your muscle down, but to build it back up.